Are you gonna stay on the phone, or are you just gonna hang up and watch the meeting, or?
Well, I thought I'd do both.
Okay, that's fine, I'll just leave you here beside me then.
Okay.
I hope you feel better.
I'm getting better.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm glad you're letting me do this so tonight, because I was running out of gas.
Okay.
I would not like to be driving home late tonight.
You should see it now, it's live.
Can you see it now, Jay? Because Brendan turned it on.
No.
Can you
All I have to see is the agenda.
Can you refresh it, or?
It's on, because I'm watching it.
Yeah, I got the notification
I got the
too.
notification, and that's what
Brendan and Tara have it pulled up on their phones right now.
they're doing. That's a cheat sheet, right?
Okay, let me see.
Okay. Two people watching, so that's terrible.
We have a lot of fans.
Okay, now I clicked on live. See what happens when I go live. Aha!
Okay, all right, Tara's gonna start, so.
Okay, we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let's do roll call. Brent Stetler.
Yes.
Jerry Fawcett.
Yes.
Walt Minnick. Walt.
Yes.
Melinda Jobe.
Yes.
Craig Kitzinski.
Here.
The first thing on the agenda is to elect the town council president and vice president, 2 different votes.
I'm gonna nominate Melinda Jobe for town council president. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
I'd like to nominate Brett for vice president. Probably hit mute.
Do I hit mute, or,
See if
okay.
he can hear it live, but it's gonna be delayed probably.
Yeah, there might be a lag. He might wanna hang up the phone and just call in if he needs to interject
Either
something.
you or him are right to mute it, because
Yeah,
you either have to watch the audio on the live stream, which will be delayed, or
Okay.
I think I just tell him to call in if it is.
Hey, Jay,
yeah.
I lost his call anyway, but if he calls back in, he's got to mute it, because I can't, that's too distracting.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Okay, Jerry nominated Brent Stetler for vice president.
I'll second. Can I second a motion?
I'll second.
Walt said he would second. I'll let Walt second. I try not to do a lot of voting, but. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Just trying to follow the rules of the Robert.
Okay, so we have a president again. Take it from here.
Oh, Tara, I think you're doing a good job.
You know what, I was just a fill-in.
Okay, we're gonna stand for Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come this evening, we just ask that you be with us and help us make the best decisions for the town of Kirklin. And we just want to thank you for this day that you've given us. And we ask all these things in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
From our packet from Tara, we had meeting minutes from our last meeting. Do you guys have any questions or comments on those, or any changes?
I make a motion to pass some minutes from 12/29/25.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. And we're gonna start off with new business. And we have, Brian Beck here, and Kat is here from Area Plan Commission too. He's here for a petition for a variance, for the zoning, of the liquor store property. So,
For landscaping.
landscaping, yes, sorry, no, clarify that, sorry.
Probably would get involved a lot more if it was zoning, I would think.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
right.
need to add that, so.
Go ahead.
Well, we proposed, we submitted a plan, with some landscaping, proposed landscaping changes, due to the fact of the conditions of the site. One of them being, they're calling for the ordinance, they're calling for a pine tree, which would be in the landscape island, as you exit onto 421. And that type of tree gets very big and full. And we
Can't
feel
see.
like it would probably prohibit, line of sight visions for traffic coming north on Michigan Road. So that's the first one.
Okay.
The second one is we are building, almost up to the right of way on Monroe.
Okay.
So we'd like to not plant anything in the right of way, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and then the north side of the building, we cannot do anything because we only have about 3 feet in between the existing building. And we moved the building to the south just a little bit so that we could actually get in between the buildings to be able to construct and put siding on and everything on the north side of the building. So
Okay.
we're asking for that as the, so you got three different items that we're asking for you to consider.
Okay. On the north side, you said the width will be 4 feet instead of the required 15, right? So that's, okay, that's
I
enough
was always
space.
told that in business, you could build right on the property line. I know on the alleys you can.
We're gonna be right up to the right of way on the south.
Yes.
And the only reason we're that close is because that we're moving it to the south so that we can gain access to be able to build the structure
Mhm.
on the north side.
Okay.
So it's not the
Very good.
structure, it's
Yeah.
the landscaping. He's
Oh,
not-
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
changing anything
Oh,
that,
okay.
we're just
It
saying
was
we
just talking
can't
about
put.
and you have to get around there and do the siding too. You
Yeah, exactly.
can't build on the line on that
But it-
building's right there.
So we can't put landscaping on that
No,
side. So those are the conditions. that
nobody
we're
would
doing.
see it really anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So we're asking to go from a pine tree to a honey locust,
okay.
which is a lot higher, doesn't have a thick,
We have some of those on our streetscape,
oh, perfect.
the honey locust, I know what it looks like, yeah.
So that's what we're looking to try to achieve.
I think most of us are thrilled that somebody's gonna do something with that.
It's gonna be a nice building, we've
Sure.
got, yeah, it should look real nice, a lot better than what obviously was there.
Are you gonna excavate down in the back of there? The reason I ask
I
that
know.
is because you will end up having problems with. the
We're
guy
not,
next
so
door.
the footprint of the building is basically the same as what it was. It's 28 feet wide, and we're extending the length of it north-south
Oh,
to
okay.
63 feet.
Okay,
So it's pretty much already been, there's concrete foundations and everything that we're taking out that were existing of the footprint of the old building. And it looked like there was another part of that existing building that was already taken down before. It may have been another attachment, but
right,
I mean, that has nothing to do with us. I was just letting you know.
yeah.
Because,
I was just kind of informed that there might be some, we're not planning on doing anything to the back except we're trying to, we've got some grading for drainage that we've got to deal with.
Okay.
So based on what he was indicating earlier, that stuff might have been buried maybe down a little bit deeper. And he also mentioned there might be a tank out in the back that may not have been taken out for waste oil. But we just have to deal with that when we get there.
Mhm.
okay.
So Billy, will they tie in to your storm drain running down the alley?
If they have downspouts on their building, they can, yes.
We're actually in a kind of a process with the surveyor in Clinton County and in NDOT as to, they don't want us tying, we wanted to tie everything into the existing structure that's there on the southeast corner of Maine and Monroe. And NDOT does not want us tying anything into their system. They don't want that happening. So right now, my civil The surveyor and NDOT are all in communications on what we need to do, to try to deal with. We're not really we're not adding a lot of impervious materials that isn't already there, like everything's all solid surface, so we're trying to get them to basically just say, hey, yeah, drain it off, to the south and let it run down the street and not have to tie into the existing structure.
He just put a new one down the alley, and, 2-3 years ago, hadn't been too
Storm.
awful long ago. So,
Yeah, there's one in the alley, you got the wastewater and the.
You got
storm.
sanitary and storm in the
Well,
back.
you got all three, you got water, sanitary, and storm, all three in the alley. It's a 6-inch, storm drain, downspouts, you can tie into those.
I'm not sure why, and I can have that conversation with myself to find out why they haven't, they're following whatever ordinances or whatever guidelines have been given them to design the building, and I'm not sure if you know Gary Ladd, but he's done a lot of work in the area, so that's why I hired him, was because he had done a lot in this area. So why we're where we're at is where we're at, but Gary's doing everything he can to try to make it the path of least resistance.
Okay.
So I'll mention to him that he mentioned, tying in the back and see if that's
Yeah.
an option, but we still have to put a structure in, right? I mean, that would be,
Not necessarily.
okay. I'll definitely bring that up to him. And your name is?
Billy Walker.
He has a card, don't you have a card with you, Billy?
And you're right behind us, aren't you?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought. Okay, we may be talking, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Well, any utilities and stormwater, I mean, that has to come through me.
Okay, perfect. So that's kind of where we're at and why I'm here.
Kat, do you have anything to say, or?
No, this is, like I said, this is just on the landscaping and that's it, so.
And the county
So you
just,
need our blessing.
yeah, just start.
Yeah,
That's
just what
what
you're, cause the board always wants to know
If we're in favor
there's
of it.
any,
So do we gotta do a motion, or can we just vote?
if there's any
Yes or no?
recommendation or whatever, yeah, you just.
And then I just make up a letter and email it to her tomorrow.
Oh, so just make a motion and.
That we're in favor.
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept for the Kirklin Liquor Store the petition for the variance.
So we have a motion.
Second.
So all those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay,
Thank
we're all
you.
in favor of that, so.
Thank you.
I'll email that to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you for explaining all that.
No problem.
Okay.
We're here to work, I'm, used to working with local governments and we'll try to make this as painless as possible.
And we were supposed to have someone here from the fire department, and
Yeah.
so we might have to table that. So,
I didn't recall the one to be on.
yeah, so we'll table that.
You might have forgot about it.
He could have, something could have come up with it. I heard some calls come out, and he's on the fire department, so he may be on a fire run or something. We heard that
That is right,
they're
you're right.
helping Boone County right now, so I don't know that he might be out right now on a call, so we'll excuse that. He's probably out working.
Is that regarding our?
Our next item is, we have to appoint a stormwater board member, and Tara had put on our Facebook page, asking if anybody would wanna send us if they're interested. And we had probably, I don't know if I had 7 to 8 people that responded. And then I talked to Billy, and I would like to appoint Clint Poole for a 1-year term. And then I want to do Brent Stetler for a 2-year term and Jerry Fawcett for a 3-year term. We have to start putting different years on terms and start
You're gonna have a whole new board. at
Yeah,
some point.
so we need to start getting this back into more form. So do we need to we don't need a motion then, right? I just appoint them, correct?
From what I understand
From Jay, I just appoint
reading
them.
and talk to Jay, you are the only one, I believe.
That appoints
Jay, if
them,
you can
okay.
hear us, call in and tell us if we're doing it wrong, but I think
Jay's
that
calling me right now.
you appoint, I believe.
Is that all I have to do, Jay, is appoint? Oh, he hung up. Jay?
Yes, it's your appointment.
And that's it?
It's your appointment, but you do have to only have two from the same political party.
We,
I've sat here through all this.
we have,
Get pretty boring.
Jerry and Brent that's on the same party, and then Clint's the Democrat,
Or independent.
or independent.
Yeah.
And
He can hear me on that, so. It's probably the brick building is why I keep losing signal probably, so. I think we're good, so.
Name?
Behind.
Yeah.
Our,
Got it last time.
So is that it?
yeah, I think so. I think we don't have to do anything else. with
Okay, so
that.
from now on, you guys will have, the first one in January, you'll have your president, vice president, and you'll just nominate one stormwater member from here on out per year to take the place of whoever is, like
He's
Clint.
supposed to drop
His will
off.
expire at the end of 2026, so that next person will be, for 3 years. It's just that to properly appoint, because they have to be staggered, we had to do a 1, a 2, and a 3.
So not, we're having a new board every time.
Right, and you did
So-
Brent for 2 and Jerry for 3, right?
Did you write that
So-
down?
Yes.
Okay.
When do we have our meetings?
Usually the Monday before this meeting.
Okay.
Been having them forever.
Is it just as needed, basically, on some of
Well,
the meetings, or?
For the past several years, I'd come up here, of course, it costs a lot of money to run the paper and stuff. I'd come up here and wait 20, 30 minutes, and there'd be nobody show up at all.
They could also meet before our council meeting. It wouldn't take very long to probably talk about it.
That'd be simpler.
Yeah, that'd just be, I do it on that.
Make it 6:45?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just have a short meeting with you guys. That would work. We can put that in the minutes if you want. 6:45 before our council meeting for the board to meet. That's a good idea. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next item. We have a resolution, and I was just gonna like, maybe, I don't know if we wanna maybe table the Kirklin Main Street donation. Their donation is like for $5,000, and I just want us to maybe think about it, and we might have some other expenses that we're looking at, and I'm not sure I wanna just give them the 5,000 yet. We might wanna give them 2,500, we might wanna give them 3,000. But I just wanna like maybe table this one. I didn't know what you guys were, if you guys have any thoughts on that.
What's their financial status? Are they good?
I mean, I know they can always like use the funds too, but then we're also getting to where we're trying to watch our funds too.
I know, I'm just asking.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, half and half. I haven't been to a meeting yet. I think maybe the January meeting's the end of the month. So I can't
Maybe
remember.
you could invite them to come give you guys a report on what they spend.
Right.
Like 5,000
Yeah.
is what you guys gave them last year, but you're the only one that really updates.
Right. So I don't want to like really do this tonight. If we can just if you guys are okay with tabling this for.
Do you want me to put it on February?
Yeah, we can just do it on February. Let's table it and let's see if I can find out some more information, and so. It's nothing bad. It's just we've had a lot on our plate too, so. Our next resolution is for outstanding old checks. And if you want Tara to explain that, she can, like what that is regarding to.
Okay, you guys have 2 of them actually, and they might confuse you if I don't just tell you the difference. Alright, so when you write a check and somebody doesn't cash it, it depends on what it was written for as to how long it has to sit on your books. So if it was written to a vendor or anything other than water meter, it's 2 years. So it has to be 2 years old as of the 31st of the year. So that means 12/31, I had to go back to 2023 and I had one sitting there. It was just something Mary had put in. It wasn't actually a check, it was just a manual check. She thought that the bank had charged a non-sufficient fund fee, like a bounce check fee back to us. So that's gonna be taken off and it's just gonna be receipted back into the fund that it came out of. The others are for 3 individuals who moved and or passed away, and checks were written to them, what was remaining out of their water meter deposit, and they just never cashed them. Those are different though, those are 1 year. So anything 1 year or older as of 12/31, so this goes back to the 2024s, have to not be receipted back into us, but sent to unclaimed property.
Like the state.
Which is the state.
State, yeah.
Yes, so what happens with these, after you guys vote on it, is I do receipt them back into us, but then I automatically just go and do a report to the unclaimed checks and send them the funds for these. And then as they or their relatives, like, my mom, I saw, my mom's passed away and as an only child, I just haven't had time, but there's unclaimed property for my mom there. It's a pretty easy process, but so, the state has made it so people can find, and I don't remember how many years, after so many years, if nobody claims it, I think it just goes into the state's coffers, which kind of crappy that they don't just send it back to us, but, that's the difference between these two. Old outstanding checks or vendors or anything other than like water meter. These are water meter only.
Okay.
If we had somebody that would have overpaid on sewer, it gets even trickier because those have to sit there for 7 years. So we're small, so it's easy to keep track of these. But anyway, that's the difference.
Can we make the resolution?
Yeah, because they're fine. I mean, just
I make
formality.
motion that we approve resolution 2026-1-2 and also resolution 2026-1-3, which is about outstanding checks and unclaimed property.
I second.
So we have a motion and a second on these 2 resolutions. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. And we're starting with our old business. We are doing a second reading for title for ordinance 2025-12-5 capital improvement plan amendment.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-12-5 by title only.
So we have a motion.
I second.
I'll
All those in
second
favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
And that was my first reading, I guess.
No, that's your, you just have to pass it now.
Oh, I make a motion that we pass 2025-12-5.
So
Second.
So we have a motion and then Craig just second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And then this motion passes now, or this ordinance passes, sorry. Now we are, down to our sanitary sewer project. Billy, did you want to update us on, did you talk to Darren about some of the funds we had left, or?
No, Darren's never contacted.
Oh, I thought maybe he did, so that's why I was waiting.
No, nobody has.
Okay,
But I do have a suggestion.
Okay.
That, there are still, some people, when we did the smoke testing 2-3 years ago, there's still some people that have not repaired their, issues. I would like to, suggest that we use part of those remaining funds to smoke test again and do a final letter with a deadline and a penalty if it's not repaired.
okay.
That's good.
is that, I mean, do you think you need a motion for this, or is this, or you don't really know what your
Well,
fee's gonna be?
I was just throwing we've got, roughly what, 90,000-ish,
80 some ish, yeah.
funds that we need to spend. And since, smoke testing is part of the scope of work originally,
That's still part of our project.
yeah, that's still part of the project, that we can do that again.
How many residents didn't follow up?
About 30% of the ones that had infractions, about 30% of them never did anything. Or if they did, they never contacted anybody.
That might be something to ask Jay, you know, if it's proper for penalties.
Well, yeah,
I
mean,
think so.
It was-
I think that was in
it
his
We
wasn't
sent
original
beginning.
letter.
multiple letters in the
It wasn't
beginning,
initial.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we sent multiple letters, gave them multiple opportunities, ample time. It's been, what, 2 years?
Did we
Yeah.
collect anything on that?
No,
Not
No
yet,
fines?
no,
no,
not yet,
no. And
Collect
this-
fines and then give them another letter?
Well, with
Clear.
this, with another round of smoke testing, this will be their final letter with a time frame to fix. And if not, then, penalties, whatever is set by our ordinances or the state or whatever, so.
You have videos pictures to show right where it's at, right?
And everybody was given a letter. Every address that I had an infraction on, they were given a letter, a description, and pictures of what was wrong. And about, actually, we had a good a good response. About 70% of them responded, but that 30% just didn't.
Yeah, it went fast. You guys got right gear. We just need a friendly or not so friendly reminder to.
Yeah, they need a little more, little stricter reminder.
You might get with Jay about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be legal,
right.
whatever is done.
Right, but it probably should come from him again.
Well, yeah, even the letters that we sent out
Or some J,
were from Jay.
yeah.
So, I mean, it all had so, I mean, this will be the last round, the last letter, and then finalize all of that.
Okay.
And then, once we do that, then I would like to hire a independent third party to do a sump pump inspection for every house, business in town. Because sump pumps are not supposed to pump into the sewer system.
So like, for example, like I don't have a sump pump, but would you still come into my house to check to see I don't have one in my basement? Or?
Whoever would, I mean,
I don't have one.
there would be steps to take. You would ask, the residents if they have one or not.
Okay, because I don't have one.
And hopefully they would be honest about it.
Okay,
And if they say that they don't, then there's no need to do an inspection.
okay,
If they say they have one, then we go in, inspect it, see where it's flowing to.
work.
Uh,
What's tied
and if
into.
if it's tied into the sewer system, once the inspection is done, then they will all be given a letter, with ample time to get that rectified. And then we'll go from there.
That sounds good though.
But that's something we need to consider and do a third party, somebody with knowledge that's not tied to the town.
Right.
That will show no favoritism or give no, freebies or whatever,
Okay.
and then go from there.
Is there anything else on that then, or?
just a couple of suggestions, but those are a couple of steps that we need
Okay.
to take to finalize, see what's been done, what hadn't been done,
Okay.
and then take the next step for the inspection on the sump pumps.
Okay. If you're ready to move on to the next item then, or
Yeah, unless somebody else, has any
you guys have any-
suggestions on,
do you guys have any questions or comments for Billy? Okay. I'm ready to move on to the park. Is there anything for the park or?
no, parks.
Okay.
It's-
We just had it on there, I think,
Yeah,
just
it's
in case.
winterized. I'm waiting for the, equipment delivery. It'll be in February. I don't exactly have the exact date.
And I think, I forwarded an email to you today, did you see it? And it looks like it's gonna be shipped sometime at the end of January. It'll take a couple weeks to get here.
Okay,
So
so we're
about
looking at
mid-February?
mid-February.
Okay.
So we're probably looking at installation sometime in March.
Okay.
So it'll be
Provided the
ready.
ground is.
Yeah, well, I mean, March should be sufficient, unless we get a lot of rain between now and then, and, it creates a muddy situation. But if all else fails, March or April, hopefully we can have all the new equipment up and operational, by the end of spring, so that the kids and everybody can enjoy it. But that's all I've got for the park.
Okay. Our next, item on the agenda is our stormwater. Tara has recently got some, names for grant administrator because Amy is going to step down from grant writing.
Yeah,
So,
you weren't here at the end, year end, but Amy, I told the rest of them, is no longer going to be doing.
our grant writer,
And
so,
she's been Kirkland's grant administrator
the whole time.
for Okra only, for many, many years. She doesn't do the SRF, like she just does the Okra, but, okay, so you guys, a while back, Sean Klein Peter, maybe a year ago, maybe not quite, I don't know how long ago it was here. I don't know if you guys recall, kind of introduced himself. His son does SRF stuff and Mike does, no, Sean. Okay, Sean is the dad, I think, right?
Yes.
Am I right? He does SRF and Sean does Okra?
Sean does financial management for cities and towns. So Sean only takes care of your finances. Mike Klein-Peter is a certified grant administrator. So
And
Mike
he
is
would do the
Sean's son.
Okra.
He does, yes, he's a certified Okra grant administrator. So he would be eligible to do your work.
Okay, and then there's also Tina Mendenhall, who does Michigan Town.
She's working in Michigan Town right now. Both of them are very experienced grant administrators.
Okay, and then there's also the option, and they might be here next month too. Minnie and I have been talking to them.
NCIRPC.
Thank you. You know I always get the alphabets there mixed
North
up.
Central Indiana Regional Planning Commission.
Some of you might know Stephen Ray.
But
He's
Tim
been here
Carson's the
several
one
years ago.
Tim
Right.
Carson's who Tara and I were texting back or emailing back and forth to.
Yeah, I talked to
So-
Tim Carson the most, and so does he. But Stephen Ray also is very active in there, and they offer things for towns a lot of times for less or cheaper than what we can get elsewhere. And they do have grant administrator services. So we're waiting to see if they're going to be on the February agenda. I don't know if you guys wanted to reach out to the other two and put them on an agenda to talk to them sometime or not. We're not going to make the February deadline. Even if we'd have done this in December, that was just going to be too soon to, I think, for you guys to talk to and kind of interview or whatever, grant administrators, if you want to, you don't want to just pick the first one. You want to do your due diligence and talk and probably to more than one to see who's you think's best fit for Kirkland based on how much they cost and personality, they have to be a good fit. Because you might be working with them for several years as well. So
I wouldn't mind getting the other contacts and contacting them myself too.
you could probably.
Can I speak to this?
Yeah.
If that's
Yeah,
okay
go
with
ahead.
you? So I would, this is great news. I would strongly encourage you to get moving as soon as you can on securing a new grant administrator. Tina Mendenhall, Mike Klein-Peter, and Stephen Ray.
Uh-huh.
Stephen is the executive director of
Right.
the council, but he's got great staff. I would wholeheartedly recommend that you work with any three of them. We work with all three of them. They're very good. They're very diligent.
And
So,
I've known Stephen Ray for a long time.
yeah, they're
So,
all very good and very diligent. You know, because the regional planning council, because I think the county is part of that regional planning council, I think that they can give you services at a discounted rate, but I don't wanna speak to that because I don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure either.
Yeah, but I would absolutely reach out to all of them.
Okay.
And if I could say, if I can push you into doing that as soon as possible.
Could you get contacts for them maybe?
Yeah, I can. And here's, I just want to give you this is the like a quick glance at what the deadlines are for the Okra. I just pulled this off the internet. So they haven't even published their 2026 deadline calendar yet, but as you can see, the 2026 Okra calendar should be based
On this
on
one.
2025.
Okay.
So, you know, by mid-February, the third week in February, the application is due again. I think that would be very ambitious, in part because it does take, as you recall, working with Amy, it does require a lot of work. I think that Amy has graciously offered to turn over all the material that she had already worked on.
Especially, you know, we did that income survey, those cost money. I'm hoping to be able to use
I think
the
you can still
existing-
use that. You can, you know, pictures, letters, all that kind of material that Amy had gathered for you. I think she's offered to turn over to whomever you choose to work with. But it just takes time to go through this process. You've got to have 2 public hearings, as you recall. So the Okra application is just lengthy. But I think, and again, I'm not an Okra grant administrator, just basing this on the work that we've done with, as an engineering firm, I think that maybe you should shoot for the next round, which would be in May. And May, I know seems like a long way off, but it's not really a long way off. You know, by the time you secure their services and get them started on whatever they need to do, I think, you know, I think you could shoot for May. I think if I can keep talking, if that's all right with you, I would strongly encourage you also to take a look at your stormwater rate. I know that's a conversation for another day and another time, but you want to be able to have enough in your stormwater fund to put up 10% for the stormwater construction grant. So again, we're doing a stormwater planning application first, because we gotta come up with a plan. And then, you know, the next step is to go in for a stormwater construction grant. And I don't know the details of your stormwater rate. I know that it's been pretty steady for quite some time. I think you should have a conversation about, you know, increasing it, however you want to do it, slowly, whatever. Tara and Mindy will know what you need, but I just want to remind you that the Okra construction grant that you can qualify for after we get through this planning process is up to $750,000. So you would need to have at least 10% of that, $75,000, in your stormwater fund. So, and you know, you also want to have a little cushion there too.
We don't have $75,000 to put down for that. So if you guys want, I mean, a planning grant's great, but then what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna tell you what's wrong, and we'll have a 10% match, I believe, for that too. But then to do anything like, okay, great, we know what's wrong, you have to then go for a grant, and if we got that $750, like she said, we don't have $75,000 to just write to go along with it. So, and as low as the stormwater fee is for a small town like this, it's going to take a while to build any more up. You know, I don't know how long it would take for us to get a grant, you know, but 2-3 years that would give us time to build it up more, because you, like she said, you can't just like wipe it out. Even if we had $75,000 in there right now to spend, I mean, and then Billy has something next week, how are we gonna pay for it? We can't use water, sewer, in general, no pun intended, to pay for stormwater expenses. It has to be self-serving. We treat them like a business because they are their own business, they're their own enterprise. So they can borrow from Peter to pay Paul, but it has to
Put it back.
pay by the end of the year.
Pay it
Yeah,
back.
so for us, that doesn't make any sense. We wouldn't be able to pay it back by the end of the year.
And Sorry to interrupt you. I think you know that you've got stormwater issues. I don't think anyone has a question that you've got stormwater issues. So you know that you've got stormwater issues that need to be addressed. And, problems only get more expensive farther along that you delay them. And I also think you've got NDOT hanging over your head. As you recall, for the wastewater project, we had to commit to NDOT that we would indeed start to look at stormwater. We would indeed start down that path of doing a stormwater study.
Because they wasn't gonna permit us to work along 421. They were kind of holding it hostage until we committed to working towards it. And then we have residents that would love for us to fix some stuff. That said, I did reach out, in the past couple months to Dan Sheets more than once, didn't get an answer. Then I reached out to Jordan Brewer. He spoke to Dan said he was gonna call me or call somebody here. I have to look at my email. I think it was me. Never heard from him. Reached out to Jordan again. Jordan's like, I can't make him. Personally, I'm not sure why an elected county official would be ignoring one of the municipalities in his county. I don't understand that. Why no communication? If he doesn't know, tell us. And we'd probably be like, well, can you find out? Because, the county has a drain over there somewhere, but from my understanding, they can't find it. He did mention starting, because it drains out on the west side of town. They need to come back this way and just mark it as they go, I think, to find it, possibly, if that's how that works. But Capstone and Sunshine Manor never used to flood for as long as it does now. I think it would hold some water, but this last time it stayed how many days?
So,
It stayed a long time, and we have
Almost a
pictures
week.
of it.
yeah.
Now, also that said, we've both spoken to Jeff Dennis, who would be happy to come here and tell you guys what he knows about it. And as you know, he's the one that developed Capstone. And so he's got some history of knowing some of the stuff over there. What did he tell you? Anything more than that? But he said he'd be willing to.
Other than what you just said, he said that he has reached out to Dan Sheets numerous occasions with no response from him either, so. And he's, he would more than, he said he's got documentation, time, that it took for the water to go down, he's got pictures, and all of this and that, so he would be, he did say that he would be more than happy to go to a storm board meeting, but we also, or as council members, need to go on behalf of the town as well.
Right.
You mean the drainage board
The
meeting?
drainage board meeting, yes.
I believe they're held twice a month. I believe.
You don't have to know when those are, do you, Kat, or?
They're always right after the commissioners meeting.
Are those in the morning?
Yeah, always around 10:15 in the morning.
Okay,
I'd have to look on my schedule when I get back in tomorrow, and I can send you when the
okay,
next coming up meetings are.
okay.
But that was the last suggestion that Jordan Brewer gave us. Jordan said he's done everything he can. He said the next step would be just somebody from the town show up at the board meeting, the drainage board meeting, and voice your concerns.
And a big reason why it's so important is I have a hard time telling our residents, hey, we're gonna use your funds from paying your rate to do something about a county problem. If it's the county's drain, why does Kirklin residents, who's paying that $5 a month to us, pay for that?
We want to verify where,
Right,
what that is, yeah.
Right, if it's ours, it's ours, but if it's the county's, I don't want our residents having to pay for that.
Yeah.
The surveyor can't be that busy that he wouldn't respond to anybody, surely.
Perhaps you could get your county commissioner that represents you. You could reach out to him and.
That's who Jordan
We-
is,
That's
I
right.
said.
Sorry.
Jordan
Yeah.
Been there,
Brewer.
done that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
And he's great about
He's
getting
been
back
helping
with
us.
you.
Okay,
He's
good.
trying to
Yeah,
help us.
he's great.
I didn't understand that
Yeah.
was your county commissioner. It would be nice if you could work in concert with the county. Perhaps the county could put up the part of the local match to, for the grant, but
Is that drain on town property or on the county?
We don't know.
Is this the one,
the-
is it the one out here?
The drain in question is on the left side of Adams Street going right before you get into, Sunshine Manor.
Oh,
The county did hire, what's Clinton Poole's father's name, Brian.
Right.
Brian and his other son, the county did hire them. They came out there, ran a camera in it, ran it as far as they could. The line is collapsed. The county has spent money looking at some troubled areas, but they won't do anything.
But why
about it.
did he then tell Jordan that he can't find it? So I don't know if there's some confusion between that line and the one farther south a little bit, because there's two. I believe there's two of them out there, am I right?
Well, the one that the county cannot find is on the map, and it actually goes right down through the center of Sunshine Manor's parking lot and goes toward Pike Street west.
Oh, okay.
Right, so they can't, that's not the one that they
That's
saw
the
that
one
was
that he
collapsed?
claims that he cannot find.
And that's the one that you think is causing problems?
Mhm.
So which one were you talking about that was
And
collapsed?
the only other one would be the one going south across Pike Street out that direction.
Which one did you say that you think they thought the Pools found was collapsed? Was it
The
collapsed or
one
they
going
just
south,
okay, the one that they can find.
yeah,
Okay.
So is it possible both of them's causing
and
problems?
it very well could be.
I just have I would have a big problem writing a check that I know came from our residents, right, dispersing a check for
Well,
something
I wouldn't
that,
recommend
we
it
didn't-
either. I mean, if it's the county's responsibility, then the county should pay for it.
but how do you get them to respond?
Can we
Besides
invite
just-
them, can we invite the survey to our next council meeting?
He won't even answer a phone call.
Or an
He's
email.
gonna show up.
I'm gonna just find out when the next drainage board meeting is.
10/15
Uh,
20.
Going back to the rates, whenever you
That's-
and Jerry
Okay.
met, I have it in the minutes where you thought that if we didn't get
Thank you.
the Okra grant for the planning study, cause you guys discussed raising them a few months ago, and you said if we didn't get it, you'd like to revisit it then. So, when you guys meet, I'll have to ask Jay if you guys need somebody to take minutes, I might be there if you do. But that would now be up to you guys to recommend to the council, including Clint, if you guys want to recommend raising rates. Jay, if you're still watching, if I'm wrong about that call, let me know later, but I think that he said last time that you guys recommend to the council, and then it's ultimately up to them, but they need a recommendation from the stormwater board first.
And you may wanna call their office to get on your agenda
Yeah.
here in the next, I would say probably tomorrow if you could. I'm not sure when they have their agenda all set, but it's
Okay.
towards the latter part of the week, so.
Okay. Will do.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
So we would like to become more involved with helping improve the application if that's possible. Jerry White with Okra, who's the community liaison that I think has been in contact with you before, I talked to him last week. He said he's going to be reaching out soon and offering to meet with the town to review the application and show you actually where it fell short.
Like you did last time over the
Right.
phone.
Right.
And we were not included in that meeting, that last meeting. If it's appropriate, we would like to be included in that meeting, to be able to perhaps identify what kind of engineering-related information that we could offer to boost the application,
Okay.
if that would be okay with you.
But I haven't heard from him
I
yet.
haven't either.
No,
Okay.
I talked to him on Friday.
Okay.
I think it may be, this week or the next few weeks, but they routinely do offer it. And I would just ask if you think it's appropriate for us to be included on that call or that meeting. And I don't know that we can provide any additional information, but I don't think it would hurt to have
Okay.
an
And I
engineer.
wish that we had a grant administrator by then too, because I remember Amy was she on, I think
She was on the call with me.
Right, this time we'd be going in without an grant administrator, cause she was understanding what they were talking about.
Yeah, so,
Um,
yeah, we would, and we've done a lot of these Oka projects, so we'll have the follow-up conversation. I just wanna offer that to you,
Okay.
that we can get our, our engineers on that call.
I just really wanna fix, like, I know we have issues along 421, but it's over there on the east side of town. Those people shouldn't have to be swimming to their cars. Whatever's wrong, county, ours, I just wish that we could fix it like right now. If you're carrying a baby and you live back in Capstone and it's, honestly, you could probably drive through it, but a lot of people, like if you have a low car, you don't want to. So they was having to park, up the street and then walk. If you have a baby, that's not easy. Same with the apartments. They were having to park alongside the grass there, going into the apartments and then behind it a little bit. They shouldn't have to do that, so.
Okay, we're gonna, finish this up if there's no other comments on this, so I can move on to the next item, or anybody else have anything? Okay, I'm ready for, Billy, for your superintendent report and updates, if you have anything else to add.
The only thing that I've got to add to the updates is, Jim's Heating and Air came and replaced the thermostats at the water plant. So now we have heat.
Okay. We're ready for Brendan then.
Thank you. Activity since the last meeting we had, the majority of December, I guess, first week of January, 10 calls for service. One of those was an ordinance violation warning. 14 traffic stops, yielding 12 warnings and 2 citations. Vehicles are running fine. We did get new tires put on the Ford truck at the end of the year. 27,000 miles, but they were starting to dry rot pretty bad. So we had some money left in the budget, and we got that done at the end of the year. And the only other thing I got to update is we did, it was right after our last meeting, we did some firearms training. And then we also did our rifle training qualifications for our rifle that we purchased last year. So
Okay.
we put that into service. That's all I got.
Okay. We're ready to start with clerk treasurer.
Okay, you guys have the revenue reports and sent in your email packet, your appropriation reports. We've got the statement of reconciled accounts. And Mindy signs this. You guys have a copy of it in your packets as well. And then we have the adjustment register for December. And then you guys have your payroll vouchers. And your APB register.
When I get these done, do you want me to do the register of claims for January 8th? Is that the invoices I have?
That's the APBs. Now, those are the ones that have arrived since it was printed on Thursday.
So I can do those in just a minute. Okay.
And while you guys are looking at and signing them, W-2s, I was hoping to have them in front of you tonight, but the forms were back ordered. And they told me they should be mailing them out this week. I'm ready to print them. I'm just waiting for those forms. So they don't have to be out until the end of the month, but I would have had them done by now had I had my forms in.
Okay.
So as soon as those W-2s arrive, I'll be printing them. Would you guys want to come pick them up here? because of the mail, or I can stick them in the mail, but we're having issues off and on with the mail.
I'll just pick them up. I'll pick mine up.
Just pick them up? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just email you guys like I do your packets.
I don't like on Monday.
Well, no, it's not really, right, that's provided I get the forms.
Okay.
But I'll just email you guys whenever I have them printed. I'm at the mercy of.
Or
the-
text message, whatever you wanna do is fine.
Yeah, I'll just
Whatever.
email like I do your guys' packets. And just be like, they're here. So there's that, and then she's got three or four invoices
Yeah.
that. Came
Yeah,
in.
these are new invoices that's come in since Thursday. I just need to read these for you guys. I need to get like a motion and a second on these invoices. The first invoice is from Indiana Underground Plant Protection, and it's in the amount of $72.20. The next invoice is for Alliance of Indiana Rural Water, and it's in the amount of $341.40. And Frankfurt Bottle and Gas is for $1,139.40. And then we have, our last one is for Menards. That invoice is $50.42.
I make a motion that we approve them all.
So we have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
And then she read it because it doesn't show. You guys might know that first one is IUPPS, the Indiana Plant Protection. It's when someone digs and they call 811. Call before you dig. People don't realize that the town that you live in actually pays 95 cents each time somebody calls dig. So quarterly we get that bill. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So
That's why we asked Comcast to reimburse us.
absolutely, and they did. And then the Alliance is just the annual dues on that. The bottle gas, obviously the propane in the back, and then Menards, heaters, a heater for the,
Just miscellaneous stuff from.
Yeah. the town bar needed a little heater or something.
Yeah, heaters, I've got a
And-
couple
and
of
then water.
heaters and some distilled
For
water.
for testing. Yeah. And then the only other thing on there, and I don't know if I've talked to Mindy about it, that it was gonna be on here, so she could be thinking about it, is your PS Lowit fund. I know I've told you guys the last 2 years that something had, push comes to shove, something was gonna have to be done. Cause they spend more than it receives every year. So, Brendan and some deputies already paid some out of general. Because PS Lowit isn't paying all the expenses, so that's up to you guys how you handle it. It's just on here because in December it ran out. Like, you guys have a fund report and you guys get the budget every year, an appropriation report. The appropriation report is just a budget that does not get approved or denied by the DLGF. What you need to pay attention to more is the fund report. Had I not paid their tires out of the general and did the PS Lowit, and as well as a laptop, we would have ended the year in the red for PS Lowit, and you can't have that. So,
We used the tire fund to pay for the tires, didn't we? Like under general maintenance or whatever it was.
because Billy hadn't had to
Used
get
his,
tires for either truck this
Okay.
year. Yeah. Yeah.
So we might have to start we can have, Brendan can kind of watch watch the hours, or we can maybe try to, brainstorm on things we can work on or things we can add or.
And I do feel like last year he tried not to order so much as far
Yeah,
as
he did.
extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that everything's costing more now, and we're not getting any more from the county. In fact, you guys know that the lit is going to be changing.
And that's in 27, right?
Yes, I think it's in 26, maybe this year, that you have to lobby for 27.
7, okay.
There's still ILMTT and AIM trying to lobby at the state level.
We don't know how
to
this is
see-
gonna work, do we?
We don't know how it's gonna shake out, if they can get it changed some. But,
Okay.
as of right now, we all know it's going to change. And because you're so small, you can't come up with your own local income tax, you still have to depend on the county. Only, right now, the legislation says only towns 3,500 population and higher can create their own local income tax and kind of be the, the captain of their own boat there.
Right.
But we're too small, and so we're gonna have to depend still on the county. And the council will have to then
Right.
ask the county for a rate. But still more details, and it's not too late for the state to make some changes on that.
Right.
But
I've
nevertheless,
heard
it's changing.
I've heard that like in the news, like I've heard different people talking about it, like if you ever listen to talk radio in Indianapolis, which we listen to, they have the mayor and they have different people on. the
SB
governor
1
on,
is affecting
so-
everybody. It's
Yeah.
not just affecting us, it's cities,
Yeah.
it's libraries, it's townships, it's
Yeah.
fire departments. A lot of towns are having to make the hard, because you're not only getting hit by the lit thing changing, but also SB 1.
Right.
So, for the SB 1, some places are saying, hey, we can't do our sidewalk program anymore. Or cutting some of the programs out. Unfortunately, for a small town, we don't have a lot of that pork to cut out. We can't say like, oh, we're just gonna stop this park program, or we're gonna stop that. We don't have a
Well,
lot of extra stuff.
We
And
might
then some
have
of
to look
them-
at our sidewalk program though.
Huh?
We might have to look at our sidewalk program.
And there's other options there that I've
Right. Yeah.
spoken about, but,
Yeah.
some of them are, that have fire departments and police departments, they're having to cut back there simply because of this SB 1. So, at the state level, it looks great, saying, hey, look what we did for your property taxes, but everybody is going to feel it sooner or later that, hey, we're paying more because now the taxes are coming from, that we're paying here instead of over here. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, so we just kinda have to,
So you guys,
See what the
and I've
changes are.
talked to you about PSLO before, you have to act. Okay, so maybe take this month and decide something, because if there's an additional appropriation that you guys decide to do, that takes time. I can't just be like, okay, I'll do an additional tomorrow. Has to be advertised. So do you want that back on February's agenda?
yeah, let's do that.
So you guys,
We can also
the rest
talk-
of you have any more input on it?
If I have any questions, we can always reach out to Jay too, like if I've got questions for Jay, so.
Do you guys have any questions? So
Do you have any
February.
questions?
Okay, you'll see that again on February.
Um,
And
before
that's
we,
all I have.
before we close the meeting, does any council have anything before we close or?
Have you heard any more about what Bill's found out at the park with the state or whoever he's dealing with now on the building?
I think the next thing that, I think Sherry was taking care of this, I'm not sure if Bill was doing it yet. She was gonna get the plans from the architect finished. So they were waiting for the okay to finish so that was our next step, was to get the plans done. And architect in Lafayette was doing those.
But nobody still hasn't done any probing?
No,
Thinking-
they were working on I wanna get the drawings finalized and get it signed.
I
So-
did get a call about somebody wanting to rent the park in October. And I'm like having to be like, well, might not be a building there, so. So I told them about renting
We
here.
could play it by ear, yeah.
I think we should look into something too for put on agenda, if, any dwelling or real estate that gets sold in town, if there are multiple dwellings in a house or a building, that the new owner has to separate the water meters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's already in the ordinances that they should
Yeah,
do
we
anyway.
got that.
But I know that you own a building now,
Wasn't
so
they
I
all
get it.
approached about
No,
that
no.
building?
It's not, that has nothing to do with it, but some buildings are gonna be getting sold, so we should probably get ahead of that program there.
We
I
already-
wholeheartedly
It's already
agree.
in our ordinance, is what Billy's told us, it's in the
Yeah,
ordinance
it's
already.
already
We
in
just have
the
to enforce
ordinances
it.
to have it done, but nobody will do it.
Yeah, we have to enforce it, that's what Billy's saying, so.
Yeah, it's already an ordinance for years, it's been in the ordinance that
That's a good point, so, thanks for the reminder though.
I guess you could amend the ordinance to allow the ones that's already like that to stay, otherwise it's already on the book saying that You have to.
I mean, there are some things that we can require new property owners to do before they get utilities. Several towns across the nation, not just here, they actually require the property owner to do a sewer inspection of their lateral. They also, require that, the property owners have a single water access to their property with nothing split going anywhere else. So I mean, but that's gonna be up to the council to make those ordinances come to fruition.
Okay. And you're not gonna make everybody happy.
And it's
With it.
only for new buyers.
For the inspections, you mean?
Yeah, for the inspections and the water hookup requirements or whatever.
That's a good,
There are several towns
But no
across.
teeth to it, basically.
Right.
We have an ordinance, but no teeth to it.
Right.
And well, y'all are the teeth, so.
Yeah, you chomp
I
chomp.
mean, seriously, y'all are the teeth.
Yeah.
And you've ran manifolds, they're set up at various places,
Oh,
right?
I know that, I haven't done it, but I know that, you know, the people that have plumbed buildings in town, and this went on before I got here. One line coming in, meter, and then they would split after that.
Which is why sometimes at times there's been like, you know, a business downstairs and an apartment or two upstairs, all on the same meter, and our ordinance says otherwise. It can't be that way.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, the ordinances were on the books even before I got here.
Long time.
But previous people didn't push it.
So we need to amend our ordinance to where
So when
they
we
can't
do
do utilities until all this happens.
Did we set up for this though, when we did all of our meters, and all the meter pits, we got meters and all the meter pits for
I feel like
these?
this is a repeat of a previous meeting.
Well,
Did we talk about this?
some of it at that time, I got with Chip and Dan. And while we were putting in the new meters, the new system and all of that, I got with them and said, look, now is the time to split your buildings up. I'll have multiple meter setters. That's why there's a lot of boxes around the one block area here that has more than one meter setter in it. And at that time, some of these buildings weren't divided up as much as they are now.
So there's
the
only
meter
so many
setters,
meter setters.
the meter setters that are there were adequate for the buildings at that time, which was back in 2019.
Okay.
A lot of things have happened since then.
Or
Buildings
changed.
have been split and split and split.
Okay.
You've got double the apartments downtown now than you did 6 years ago.
Okay.
And they're all still being fed by the same thing. The only one that actually did exactly what they were supposed to do was the tasting room. They split off of Booker's, so now they are on their own.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this all was going on before I got here. Me and previous people argued the fact over and over and over to no avail.
You know, and as my part, you know, I'm clerk treasurer, but I'm also ultimately responsible for the utilities. And I was the utility clerk for many years. It was so hard for me to turn off a house that just had, you know, a regular family in it because they didn't pay their bill when some apartment downtown, because that there was a business downstairs, could go without paying their bill and not get shut off. I'm, you know, people may not like what I do sometimes, but they can't say I'm not fair. And that really bothers me. That's not right to turn off John Smith right here when David Bowie downtown doesn't get shut off even though he hasn't paid his bill for 2 months. Just because there's somebody connected to him downstairs. Because we didn't want to turn off
A business.
a business.
Right.
Right. Now, there has been business turned off, but they didn't have anybody living on the same meter. I don't like to turn anybody off, but when we do, because that's the worst part of the job, it has to be fair.
Do you guys
It'll
have
be
any?
up to the landlord,
Yeah.
they can keep them in their name. Now, there are landlords around here that do keep the bill in their name, and we don't even know who's living there a lot of times because they keep them in their name.
As long as the bill's paid, it's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else in on this so we can close it up or?
Well, I mean, we can set this up, we can be as strict, we can be as loose, we can, it's whatever y'all decide how you wanna play it forward. But I mean, now would be time to do it. We can set restrictions, we can set guidelines, or y'all can, of how you want it handled.
I mean, if you can
Actually,
if you can give us some recommendations, that would help.
What about RCAP?
So-
Can you reach out to RCAP and see what is generally done?
Well, I will say this, about a third of the structures downtown are being metered. So you're losing 2/3 of possible income from downtown.
It has, over the years, lost a lot of revenue by
A
allowing
lot
you
of
to stay on
revenue.
the same one.
Because one meter, well, just for instance, right now, one meter serves a business and 3 apartments. Minimum usage or even high usage or whatever, you get one bill. Split between 2, 3, 4 people, okay? Whereas if it was all on separate ones, then we could collect 4 different bills, 4 different minimums, 4 different uses, or whatever.
And the reason it's important isn't just because of fairness, but it benefits everybody when you bring in the revenue from where you're supposed to be bringing in. When you do need to take out bonds or raise rates, you've got more in the, more in the bank because those people have been paying.
Plus setting on the extra deposits too.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you think about it from like a business standpoint, this business is on that meter with those other 3 apartments, and that's not fair that they're only there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah, see,
And
the
they're-
businesses.
and they're just maybe going to the restroom or watering some flowers.
But that's a business decision they need to make.
Yeah,
That's
the-
what
the
that's what I'm
business
saying
could
is
get by
not
with just a minimum bill,
right.
whereas your major users off of that meter would pay for
Right.
what they actually
Keeping in
use.
mind, as I used to have to do when I owned my own business, that's a business expense.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying from the business point though, if they're having to split that bill, they probably wouldn't be using that much compared to the residents there.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know how they split it, I don't know that.
But if they split it, maybe they all get away cheaper.
Yeah, we can do that.
What's
We can
that?
add it to the agenda for next month, so we
Next
can.
month. You guys are gonna have a busy agenda.
Well, that's okay. Was there anything else that needs to be discussed tonight before we close, or? Okay, meeting adjourned.
Hey, Kat,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stay on the ABC again.
I figured you would. Detective.
I enjoy it, really. I in particular care for the last meeting.
Well, actually.
That was a little long.
But that's one of the million.
Yeah, we don't have those very often.
Like the bank, the post office, the county, they're all closed on Thursdays.
And here we are with nobody coming in, but we're adding extra stuff in.
And I don't even get what
Will you
that
admit that?
It's part of the salary ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
those days, everybody assumes that we're closed.
Alrighty.
Well, I will see Liz Wednesday, take off, and then everyone else on salary. But I don't know because
As long as it's in the scope of
But I just use my microphone here.
Well, actually,
Yeah, exactly.